So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the country of corruption that we have built. And we've also built a culture of corruption. Our refineries, 100 trillion spent, nothing to show for it. Nigeria, we hail thee. Why we keep importing fuel at the expense of a high dollar and suffering the Nigerians. Nigerians, that's your country. But after all of this, if you like, don't vote properly. You will reap the reward of your votes. God bless you.
Now you know fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu don't have the interests of Nigerians at heart. Because for a man who was massively voted for, as the APC members believe to be, is today requesting for over 4 billion naira for the renovation of the presidential lodge in Lagos, as well as the vice presidential lodge, which will cost almost 3 billion, and 1.5 billion for vehicles for the office of the first lady that never exist, not even in our constitution, of which will land under the last administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, where he said that the woman belongs to the other room, which caused a lot of controversy because he said there is nothing like the office of the first lady. Many Nigerians applauded him as a result of that, but we understand what happened subsequently after that statement. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even though he was not well received by many Nigerians, as the 2023 general election was more of an ethnic election than a normal election because of the circumstances, that paraded itself during the election. Excellency Mr. Peter Obi was knocked out during the election. He was rigged out because if you look at the evidence and even the election, you will discover that he actually won that election. But then the appeal courts and even the tribunal upheld Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And to pay Nigerians back, this is what he's requesting for, to buy yacht. I don't understand. What is he buying it for? For over 5 billion to acquire? Is that the reason why they removed the fuel subsidy and floated the naira? In order for them to in order for them to achieve their tests for luxury. Nigerians are suffering since the removal of fuel subsidy on the 29th of May 2023. Many companies folded up. Many people that invested in Nigeria are leaving. I know of a friend who now is jobless because the boss, who is in the United States, has a business here in Nigeria, decided to close up the business because he said he cannot cope with the business anymore. I know so many people that have resigned from their job because they cannot meet up with the demand, as prices of transportation has gone up, among many other issues. But all the president and its cabal can think of is to buy a yacht and also go ahead to renovate a house that is not living in. Now let's look at the statistic here. Over 133 million of Nigerians are living in multi-dimensional poverty. And that is not enough. You decided to spend so much money on a project that will not generate any form of income. Now you have 37% of children that are being malnourished, that are suffering from malnutrition. Then the inflation rate of Nigeria is 26.7%, the highest of all time. The debt rates of Nigeria, in terms of the debt ratio, in terms of servicing of debt to revenue, is at 73.5%. Then if you look at the debt of Nigeria, it's at 87 trillion. Now, you want to borrow over 70 billion. Now you are going to buy, luxury vehicles for your wife, office of the first lady. How about now? This doesn't make any sense. Is this a reason why they removed the fuel subsidy? The fuel subsidy was what the poor were benefiting. But they say remove it. It is the rich that are benefiting from it. Right? The rich were not suffering while they were subsidy, but they were benefiting, right? Now they have removed the fuel subsidy. Who is suffering now? Anyway, everybody is feeling it, but the poor masses are suffering the more. And this is all what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to offer Nigerians after the Supreme Court affirmed that he is a true winner, of which everybody knows it was a kangaroo judgment. Now he is now paying Nigerians back with this. Anyway, it is now up to those that were singing at the fake meeting and the rest that on his mandate they shall stand. They are really standing on the mandate too, and they will wreck this country and wreck the economy to the lowest. Now let's not even talk too much. This guy, this one here, that was talking at Arise TV the other day, I brought a video where him and Rufai had a little dissing. Now, have you seen? There are statistics out there. Some of them go out to make statements and say things that does not really hold water. Just because they want to impress. Okay, no problem. They are now spending this money on things that are irrelevant. I saw where they are to share 35,000 naira to federal government workers across board. For what reasons exactly? Let's call a spade and let's talk to ourselves and ask some reasonable questions and see how we can move this country forward. For example, if you are budgeting over 1 trillion naira to share as palliative, as to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal, let's ask ourselves some basic questions here. 1. How much do Nigeria needs to fix her 3 or 4 refineries? All those 3 refineries that we have across Nigeria, what is the cost of renovation? What is the cost? Okay, how much did it even take Dangote to build his own refineries in the first place? That you are spending over 100 trillion, to share as palliative. What if you invest that money into tech? What if you invest that money into other infrastructures that will bring job to youth? People are losing their jobs. There is high level of insecurity in the country. There is high level of poverty rate in the country. Your debt servicing rate is on a high, but then all you know how to do is to share money. You see, when they said these people did not come into this, they don't want to develop this country, or they don't have any plan to even make this country better, they see such people that make such statement as people that are the one causing problem. Like the guest at the Arise TV said that it was Rufai and his friends that is causing Naira to drop. How? So anybody that asks basic questions or saying something that will bring development and questioning the attitude and behavior of the government is the enemy of the states. And now we can see that they are purchasing vehicles for the office of the First Lady that never exists in the Constitution. Let's ask ourselves some questions again. Do other nations of the world, do they buy vehicles for the wife of the president and even their lawmakers? You remove fuel subsidy. Each lawmaker is now purchasing over 100 million naira for a vehicle for lawmakers. Can they go and buy the vehicles by themselves? Let them go and buy the vehicle with their money. Which official vehicle are we talking about here? Of which at the end of their tenure, they will not hand over their vehicle. Let's ask ourselves some questions. The fleet of vehicles they're talking about here, when Muhammadu Buhari was leaving office, he left the office. Did he carry the official vehicles away? The vehicles that the wife of the president was using that are not her personal vehicles. I mean Aisha Buhari, when she was leaving, did she take those vehicles away? Let's ask ourselves some questions. What happened to the cars? If you need to return those cars to the manufacturers, of which they don't normally buy from dealers, you speak to the company. And why don't you call the company over? Take this car, rebrand it, or maybe exchange this car, have some kind of deals. But they know they want to spend money. They have seen where, they have been waiting for so long patiently. I mean the opposition. They said PDP spent 16 years of destroying the economy of Nigeria. But we have never had this level of debt rate. We have never had this level of inflation rate in the 16 years of the PDP government. Some of those people from the PDP are now in APC, and they will not just destroy the economy of Nigeria, they will wreck and make sure that Nigeria never exists economically wise, politically wise, and the democracy is being run to the mud. That is the level of, or that is the kind of government that we are to run under the APC administration, or that is the kind of government we are about witnessing, or we are about seeing, or we are seeing already under the APC-led administration. do not forget, it's just starting. And we have 3 years. 3 years, more budget will come and more yacht will be bought. Somebody said yacht. They will continue buying. They will buy for the office of the first lady. They will buy for the Senate president. They will buy for the speaker. They will buy for the chief justice of the nation. They will, just let's watch and see how it goes. To the expense of the poor Nigerians. There is no light. As I'm speaking now, there is no light. The business people need electricity to power their businesses and all of that. There is none. But then they want to buy luxurious, Anyway, I will leave it to you to decide on the comment section if this is the person you voted for, or those of you that don't vote for him. What do you think of this? Because, man, it's going to be a long ride with Bola Ahmed Tinubu sitting there as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Remember, the National Assembly will not do anything because they once said they need those vehicles to perform their duty. So the president as well, we need a yacht to perform its duty. And they want to teach Peter Obi and others lesson, and they shouldn't be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Before you start out to defend any politician, remember I always say this. They don't care about you. It is about their personal interest. And now you are seeing the personal interest. Mr. Tinubu will expound the economy of Nigeria into his pocket. I say so. Thank you for watching. Please do it to share this video to reach a larger audience.